This Area 51 thing, okay? Area 51, first of all, you all know I'm from Vegas, so Area 51 is something that's very familiar to us. Also in the media in Vegas, and I know the investigative reporters in Vegas who have done everything they can. George Knapp, probably chief among them, doing everything he can to expose the secrets of Area 51, which for many, many years did not even really exist. FYI, if you ever go to Las Vegas and you are going to be near the airport, because the airport is just south of the Las Vegas Strip. So if you ever go to Las Vegas and you're there, if you at the airport, if you see a white plane with just a thin red stripe on the side, that plane takes workers to Area 51. If you ever see it flying or landing, those are workers who have either been ferried to or from Area 51. Just so you know, that's a little bit of local Las Vegas knowledge that people outside of the city generally do not know. So if you're ever in Las Vegas, a plain white plane with a thin red stripe, because you don't drive to Area 51. You don't drive to work there. You fly in, you land, and the security background checks are astronomical. Talked to a couple of people who have worked there, and it is intense, to say the least. And they have permanent gag orders, if you will. So they can never, ever, ever talk about what they saw there and what they worked on there. Okay. Now, does that mean there's aliens and stuff? Not necessarily. Okay. But I also saw a UFO when I was a little kid. I was on Edwards Air Force Base, and we were dropping off my stepdad at the time, who was a higher up. He was a colonel in the Air Force. We were dropping him off at a hangar, and there was a UFO in there. And so I also know that we have them. And I was a kid, so I don't have a gag order. I can tell you all of that. So, and of course, most people know that Skunk Works now, at that era anyway, we're working on UFOs and working on saucers and things like that to fly. Now, whether any of them are actually in existence, I don't know. I'm convinced that there's a triangular aircraft because I saw it at nighttime when I was visiting several years ago. But there's some interesting things that you see growing up around Edwards Air Force Base. And then later on, well, my early life was by Edwards, but then later on, of course, I'm in Las Vegas. And of course, you have Area 51 not too far away. So here's the thing. First of all, this Area 51 thing, the whole "they can't stop all of us" bit, it's a joke. Okay, it's a giant troll. All right, just want everybody to be crystal clear. I think 400,000 people have signed on to storm Area 51. Okay, it's a joke. Second of all, the notion that they can't stop all of you is untrue, because they can. They can and they will. Area 51 is far more protected than you realize. And of course, they like it that way. You rarely get anywhere near the fence without somebody shadowing you. You always have somebody. Every time that I have gone out there, before you even get to the barrier that says you cannot go beyond here, okay, before you even get to that, there's usually a Humvee with troops in the Humvee on the other side looking at you. And that's without you breaking any rules. And everywhere you go, they follow you. Okay, so that's obviously just one aspect of it. They're highly surveilled. Obviously, they have a ton of technology there. I know others who have encountered other technology there. So again, the notion that they cannot stop 400,000 people from getting in there is preposterous, because, of course, they will do something and they will all get scared and run away. But they are prepared. Okay. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is this is now starting to get attention. Over the weekend, I kind of noticed there's a lot of people asking about it. Like, what's going on? Is this a real thing? Or, what's happening here? Again, and I'm convinced this is a giant joke based on some of the drawings and things like that they've put up on the original post. It's hysterical. So anyway, the Air Force has been asked for a response. So Laura McAndrews, who is the spokeswoman for the Air Force, did in fact respond via The Hill. Air Force spokeswoman Laura McAndrews declined to elaborate on specific details. However, she did issue a warning to those who may be serious about a plan to infiltrate the Nevada Air Force Base. Area 51 is an open training range for the U.S. Air Force, and we would discourage anyone from trying to come into the area where we train American armed forces. That's what she told The Hill. She also said the U.S. Air Force always stands ready to protect America and its assets. Nice. I like her. We should hire her here. and we can't pay her enough, but we should hire her here. I like the way that she phrases things. So the Air Force stands ready to protect America and its assets. And Area 51, Groom Lake, is certainly an asset. So again, we don't know what they're doing with it now. They moved a lot of the operations that used to exist there. They moved them to, I think, New Mexico. Don't quote me on that, because they made like a new base that kind of did what Area 51 did, and they did it in another state. So it actually allegedly closed down for some time, but those white planes that I was talking about still were being ferried back and forth to Groom Lake. So we know that it didn't actually shut down. And then eventually the military acknowledged the existence of it and said it's an Air Force base now, and that's what we're doing out there. So they're running all sorts of tests and all sorts of things out there at Groom Lake. But this whole storm Area 51 thing is, first of all, if you ever got to the base, you would not get to the actual technology and or alien paraphernalia, because it's not on the surface of the Earth, it's underground. Most of that base is underground. It is not above ground. The hangars and everything else that are above ground don't even usually house anything. They're pretty much empty most of the time, okay? So it's just a way to get things in and out from takeoff and landing without having logistics issues of getting them underground before they're stored away, okay? So it's the base is actually underground. So even if you were to storm it, you're not going to find anything. So theoretically, if they did let you take over the buildings and the hangars, including the famous Hangar 18, which is allegedly where the Roswell aliens are, for those of you who don't know, you're still not going to be able to get any actual knowledge from it, because you can't get subsurface into the base. I mean, unless somebody let you in, I guess, then that would be a possibility. But it is funny watching people fantasize about this sort of thing, because I think some of them actually believe that this could work. Even though it's meant as a joke, you get some people, no, this could really, really, truly work. And maybe the secret to why the planet is flat and not round is in there. And then people could storm that, and maybe we have some answers, John. It's entirely possible we could have some answers. But you know what's interesting? My 7-year-old keeps telling me that God built Earth with a wall. Did you know that? Have I told you that yet? She's like, no, there's a wall around the planet. And, flat Earth theory is there's a wall.
There's no wall.
I'm just saying.
Doesn't she listen to talk radio?
I'm just saying.
No wall.
My 7-year-old kid might have some insights that nobody else has. She's been telling me for months that God made the planet with a wall.
Fake news.
And flat earthers say there's a wall on the edge. Who knows? Maybe she's some kind of I don't know, a mentalist.
Is it a big, beautiful wall?
She didn't say if it was a big, beautiful wall. That hasn't come up yet. I need to ask her if there's a door. If there's a door, then maybe we'll have progress. I don't know. So yeah, it's a joke, ladies and gentlemen, but I think that a few people are probably not, shall we say they're defective, might be taking this a little seriously. But yes, the Air Force could absolutely stop 400,000 of you. And even if you did take the base, you're not getting any knowledge, because you're not getting subsurface. By the way, that base is, that will withstand a direct thermonuclear hit, just so you know. And nobody will be hurt. There's a lot about that base that people outside of it don't know. All right, we got more coming up. Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
This is Michiana.